Hi, Dennis Swee, Siegel Communications. Welcome to our town. We're at the best small place in Abilene. Jenny Stuck is the Center Director for Learn and Grow Depot, and by small place in town, I mean small people in town.
Yes.
I'm sure in the backdrop people can really quickly get that we brought our own chairs to the room today, Jenny.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so Learn and Grow Depot. How long have you been here?
I have been here since January of this year.
What brought you to here?
I have a passion for preschool children, and I like the dynamic of running a center.
Very cool. So on the hallway on the way down, I discovered that how you got here, not just here, but Abilene here. So, because it's a great economic development story, we're going to tell it again. So I asked you, how did you get here from where you were? And you told us?
I'm from California, and I got here from my husband is originally from Abilene and was ready to come back home.
And so he's an official boomerang.
Yeah.
So at the state fair last year, we had these boomerangs and T-shirts that said "Come back to Abilene." So, but Jeremy's a boomerang.
Yes, definitely.
Very cool. So that's great for us as a community. It's a perfect launch to talk about this place. So I was at an event called a Big Rural Brainstorm last week. Marcy Penner, Kansas Sampler Foundation puts it on, and it's just an event one day, all day long, where people talk about things. And so a lot of communities from all over Kansas were there, and Marcy asked this question: so how many people from communities here in Kansas have a problem maintaining high quality child care for everybody that needs it? Every community in the room raised their hand.
Yes.
Wow, how lucky are we in Abilene to have Memorial Health Systems and Learn and Grow Depot.
We are very lucky. We are a huge asset to not only the employees of Memorial Health System, but also to our community.
Okay, let's talk about the business side of this. So there's little ones running around out there outside the doors, and mom and dad's looking for some help. How does this work?
They can come take a tour of the center, get some information, make sure that Learn and Grow is the place for them, and then we can set up a time for them to get started. It's a pretty easy process, pretty painless. Okay. There is some paperwork involved, state paperwork and such, but it's a pretty painless procedure.
Certifications of Learn and Grow, child care in Kansas requires certification.
Certifications for us, we have to follow all state regulations,
okay.
And teachers have to have their education behind them to be able to work here.
So are those certified regulation 3-year-old basketball hoops over there?
Yeah. They do have to be approved.
I'm sure they do. Everything has to be approved in child care. So, you know, regulation isn't my favorite topic, except to say that it provides us an opportunity to guide our own outcomes, and child care of other people's children is highly regulated. That's probably a good thing, isn't it?
It is. It's definitely a good thing, and we've had, since I've been here, we've already had our visit from the state and did outstanding. So we're headed in a really good direction this year.
So you gave me a quick tour down the hallway, and back up the hallway, 2 rooms on the left, there's a room full of little bitty people.
And there is. We start at 6 weeks and go all the way up through school age. We have a lot of itty bitty people. We're actually going to have 9 itty bitty people next week. So.
That takes a little more labor than the other size people, right?
Yes.
As far as your ratios?
Yep. Our infant room ratio is 1 to 3, so 1 teacher to 3 infants. Yeah. We also have some volunteers that come in and baby hold and rock the babies to help us.
What's it take to be a volunteer baby rocker?
You know, it all goes through the health system. We go through Michelle over there, and she does make sure everything's done on that end.
So I have to find a Michelle and have to convince her I'm a good baby rocker?
You do.
Okay, I'll make that happen. That's one of my favorite activities, so I'd be good at that job.
Yeah, it's fun. We have a couple people that come in throughout the week to help us baby hold.
So I look around the room and I see kid stuff. I see block trains, block trucks back over here in the corner. We talked about the basketball hoops, but I also see some learning on the walls here. The poster we're looking at of the 5 senses: sight, hearing, touch, taste, smell. There is learning that happens here even with the little people, is there not? Definitely.
We start at 6 weeks and go all the way up. We have a lesson plan that changes every week. It is geared towards the child's development They get circle time, which is their time for their letters and numbers and shapes. And then they also get their time in blocks and whatnot to decide what they would like to do. It is really based on their age and development. When you're looking at infants, it could just be singing songs while they're playing on the floor. And then toddlers get about 10 or 15 minutes of time with calendars and reading books and such. And then when you get up here, you get into more of like your 20, 30 minutes of actually writing their names and tracing their letters and getting them ready for kindergarten.
Those are the same things that we've acknowledged forever at home when maybe one of us wasn't working out. That was that person who stayed home was doing those things to help our children be ready to go to the next level of learning. It's widely recognized that stimulation of learning from little people up to about this high is probably 70–80% of their lifetime knowledge is learned from here down. That's quite a responsibility.
Yes, it is, and the interaction with their peers is a big one also in the child development. It's all good that they can do those things at home, but they don't get the interaction with kids their age, and that's a big part of child development also.
In life, many things we talk about, we wish things were some other way. We really don't control our economic flow today of how many people get a chance to stay home. Most families are contributing to the economy and the welfare of their own family by both people working. So that creates a need for child care professionals to do this job. So back to the comment from Marcy Penner and the response from the community, child care is either a positive thing for the economic development of small towns in Kansas, or it's a negative thing. I think in Abilene, we're one of the organizational communities that have solved the problem to a large degree. This is a beautiful facility right across from the hospital, Main Street. Many communities don't have this.
Yes, no. And there's a huge need for it, so I'm glad that we are able to fill all of our rooms and help as many families as we can here.
What's your day look like as a center director, or maybe other staff persons in the building? What's their day look like?
They work a good 8-hour day. I do have a couple that come in and fill in. They have routines. Each classroom has their daily schedule, so we do breakfast at 8 o'clock every morning with whoever's here for breakfast, and then they get some lesson time in, some outside time, and then at lunch is at 11, and then they transition into nap time after that.
What time's nap time?
Nap time is about 11:45.
11 to 11:45. Dave, we need to jot that down. That might work for me.
Then they get up from nap, they get a snack, and then they get to do it all over again. In some way, they have a little bit less structured circle time, and they get to do art, and then some more outside time, and then more free activity time in their centers.
How many children are you taking care of presently?
We have 48 right now.
And that's right close to your number of?
We are at 60.
Okay.
But we don't do school age during the school year because they're all at school.
That's right. You mentioned there's a waiting list, so somebody in the audience is going, their license for 60, they have 48. How's there a waiting list? There's reasons for that.
There is a waiting list. You have to take into consideration as a center director when the different kids are going to transition to different classrooms, so you have to leave space for that. And then making sure that the people that are on the wait list are called in the order that they're on there.
So we're setting in a room that is age?
They are 4 and 5 in this room.
Okay. Over there?
The preschool is 2.5 to 3.
Okay, work your way up though.
And then we have our toddler 1 class is 1 to 2. And then we have toddler 2s, which is 2 to 3. And our infant room is 6 weeks to 1, or they have to be walking to move across the hall.
all of that to say is you also have capacities in each room.
We do.
And which is why you're at 48, 60 in a waiting list.
Yes.
You have to manage each room as an individual and then the center as a total number.
Yep.
And I assume that also means staffing.
Yes.
Because I would guess there may be different criteria for the infant room compared to this room, maybe.
Yes,
I don't know.
there is. Our infant room and preschool rooms run a lower ratio. So they are, like the infant room is the 1 teacher to 3 kids, and the toddler room is 1 teacher to 5 kids. And then you jump from to preschool to 1 to 10.
Okay.
So there is a difference. And you have to make sure that those teachers are only here a certain amount of hours during the day, that they have the right qualifications. There's certain teachers who can't be in certain classrooms. So there's a lot of monitoring.
Are you looking for any employees?
Currently, we are not. We are
Okay.
fully staffed,
Well,
which
that's
is
great.
also a great
That's
thing,
great.
because it's hard sometimes to retain. And
Yeah.
they usually, most preschool teachers start in preschool, but they want to go to early education in the school district.
Okay.
So.
For that day in the future, when you are looking for an employee, tell us how great a place this is to work.
Oh, Learn and Grow Depot is amazing. The working for the health system is great. You over here get the same benefits that you get working under the hospital,
Okay.
along with your child care subsidy and help there. Can't say enough. All the health benefits, and working as a team over here and being part of the team with the ladies and gentlemen that work over here.
I know a lot of young people are going out into the educational field and coming back with different certificates. What kind of certificate do they walk in the door with looking for a job here?
Certificate-wise, they have to have so many units in early childhood.
Okay.
There's not necessarily a certificate for it, but there's a number behind it.
Okay.
If they have the right amount of units in early childhood, then they can start as a lead, or actually in their general ed helps too. And
Okay.
then we have KCETO, who we can go through. We have 16 hours a year currently that we have to meet. So that's continuing education.
All right. Very good. So coming down the hall, we were talking to Kim, and I basically asked the question, how important is this place to the hospital? She said a lot. She said, you know, this is a recruitment retention tool. So the employees of Memorial Health System, the hospital, and other places, they might need and do need child care too.
Yes.
So the first service to your own employees in the other buildings, as a business owner, that cannot be overstated. That is a huge thing to be able to tell you, yes, if you're moving, you're a young doctor and you're from Chicago, you're looking to come to someplace and start a new career here in the Midwest. This is a big benefit to the recruitment process for the hospital.
Yes.
Very
it
cool.
is.
Okay, so what's the most fun thing that's happened to you since you've been the director here with the little people? Kind of the Art Linkletter. Do you remember? You don't remember Art Linkletter, but he's on YouTube if you ever want to know. He used to set little kids down and ask them questions about whatever. Kids always have the best answers. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking of. Have one?
I don't know. I think now that they actually know who I am and that I'm here every day and know my name, when they see me outside of here is the fun part, because
Okay.
then they come running and say your name, or they point and
What
look
do
at
they
you.
call you?
Jenny.
Jenny, okay. So as we came down the hallway today, there were 2 or 3 little faces that every time we came down the hallway saw us and waved and smiled. They were the ones that were looking for that extra engagement.
Yes.
Those people, those little people will do well in the world if they keep on that path.
Yes,
that was
definitely.
good. That was good. All right, so what are the challenges, Learn and Grow Depot, as a center director?
Challenges, trying to meet the needs of the families. We have strict guidelines that we run from
Okay.
the state, and trying to meet parents' needs and center needs and staffing needs. That's a challenge day to day.
So we raised 4 kids, 3 girls and a boy, and I think about those challenges as an individual, and I look at the 48. I would think the multiplication rule of challenges is probably pretty true. You
Yeah.
probably face about 6 times more challenges each day than we did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And especially it goes in phases, I feel like sick season, or when it's, you know, cold and flu time, and you got to manage that, and understanding that people work and your staff work and everybody's going to get sick. So
you just led me to a question. So there have to be times when it's okay to have a runny nose and not okay to bring a child into a group setting like this. What are those general rules?
Runny nose, clear runny nose is okay. We understand they have allergies. Fevers are not okay.
Fevers are
green
not okay.
runny noses, green boogery eyes.
All the things that if you were home, you'd look at your child and say, Bobby's really sick.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Bobby's really sick, he's going to have to stay home.
Yes.
Right?
And we do take into consideration teething and those kind of things also, especially in the younger age. Sometimes low-grade fevers will come from teething, so we do keep that in mind.
Right. So I saw on the board on the way in you have a PTA program here.
We do have a PTA program here. We have a great PTA program.
Tell us about it.
They support us and a lot of the things that go on in our classrooms and buying new items for the classrooms. We do, we're getting ready to do the RHV fundraiser on Saturday. We have a noodle fundraiser. They are 100% behind the staff and getting us all kinds of fun things. So.
That's good. Memorial Health System has some other facilities in town that I would think would be a wonderful match between little people and people who are not around little people anymore.
Yes.
Just down the street is one at Village Manor.
Yes, Village Manor. We take field trips down to them a lot.
Cool.
They love seeing the kids. Miss Jeanette's kids go down there almost every holiday and decorate cookies.
Okay.
They're going to be doing a Easter egg hunt with them at Village Manor. And we're in the works with doing some summer activities with them also.
Sometimes in the world, in family situation, Grandpa and Grandma just don't have anybody anymore. And but Grandpa and Grandma may have found a safe place to live in Village Manor, but they may have lost contact with family for whatever reason.
Yes.
What an opportunity to help these little people understand how valuable it is to appreciate the older people in our society by putting them in a place to make them smile.
Yep.
That's very good.
And we have them, we just started a baby holding with them also, so they're going through a process of being able to send some up here to be able to be baby holders.
Wow,
so.
that's very cool. All right, so behind the little door over there, we peeked over the top and saw there's a little tiny potty in there.
Yes.
So facilities-wise, to me it looks like a first-class place to bring a child.
Yes.
Are you all set on facilities?
We are. We have everything we need, and we meet all expectations there. There is always room for new hands-on things for different centers because things get used. And
what could you use?
More math manipulative things, and those are the
How
counting
about the world's
and
best
blocks.
Collection of Thomas the Tank Engine and Out of My Garage?
Oh yeah, definitely. They would love that.
Oh yeah.
It's always good to be able to transition toys, so that's something we're looking at now, being able to put some things away and bring new things out so everybody gets a new feel for things.
Spring is right around the corner. Dave gave me the 2 minutes, but spring cleaning is on my calendar.
All right.
So when my son and I, who's Thomas the Tank Engine it was, when we clean the garage out, we're going to find those and set those aside and clean them up, and we'll probably be showing up with some Thomas the Tank Engine.
We would love that. That would be great.
Okay. So what's the most happy thing about your job, Jenny Stuck, as you work here, that you want people to know about bringing their child here?
We always have a smile on our face.
Yeah.
The kids are great. The staff is great. Even on rough days, everybody's smiling and enjoys being here.
Well, we've only been here a little while, but everybody I've seen that's big smiled at me and made eye contact, and all the little people smiled and made eye contact.
That'll make your day.
Yeah, great thing. Thank you, Jenny Stuck.
You're welcome.
Center
Thank you.
Director, Learn and Grow Depot, owned and operated by Memorial Health System for the benefit of the Abilene community. It's a great thing.
Yes.
It was a fun day.
Yes.
Pleasure to meet you, ma'am.
Nice meeting you.
I'm Dennis Weiss. I work for Eagle Communications. We wish you a great day.